All right, Sean, we're on to our second map now. We just saw Artosis defeat Louder on Lost Temple. Our second map is, of course, Steps of War, which is one of the 5 1v1 matches in the Starcraft 2 beta. What do you think about this map?
What I love so much about Steps of War is that it's a really small map with literally no terrain to get in the way of the two bases. It's a straight shot between them, so tons of aggression. Early rush builds have that sort of double potency to them just because of the architecture of the map. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You have a natural right outside your ramp. There's a third base outside some destructible rocks also next to your base. So if both players do some early aggression and manage to equalize in some fashion, we can see the game go straight into macro mode with both players trying to get as much resources and build as much stuff as they can. So I'm real excited just to see how both players are going to deal with this early aggression after game one. So let's go ahead and get this match started. And you know, in a series like this, anytime you lose the first series, it has such an impact on the psychology of a best of five. I mean, if you're down in the first game as the loser, even if you win this game, you tend not to think, all right, cool, now I have the momentum. You tend to think, oh man, you know, I hope I don't lose this next game. It's such a barrier to overcome. Whereas if you're the winner, you tend to be thinking to yourself a lot, all right, cool, well, I lost game two, but no big deal. I won right out the gate. Because there was a big statistic in a lot of the major Korean Starcraft tournaments where at one point in time, 90% of best of fives were won by the player who won game one. So
Wow.
I just think it's a real important thing to talk about.
Right, so of course we are here on Steps of War, the second match of tonight's matchup, and we have Louder as the Protoss spawning at the 7 o'clock position, the blue Protoss, and we have the red Zerg, Artosis, spawning at the 2 o'clock position. And of course he's sending his Overlord to scout. He's also sending a drone to scout, which we were talking about last match.
Yeah. I mean, early drone scouts I'm a fan of on those big maps to spot proxies, and just to get a little bit of general information, not just getting into their base, but sort of seeing where the probe is scouting. That's like super high level when players are looking at the angles of where did that probe come from, because it can always mean the Protoss is hiding buildings somewhere else.
Right.
But on a two-player map like this, it's totally fine to sacrifice the early economy and send out an early drone scout like Artosis is, because you can make some sort of huge change in what you're doing. So for instance, right now, Artosis doesn't see some sort of ultra-fast double gate, so he's going to be a lot more comfortable making drones.
Right, and we also see his drone going away there, kind of chipping away on that gateway. Obviously, nothing too important there. We're not going to see him take down that gateway himself. But, we see a pool going up there in the Zerg's base. Just started at, was that a 14 pool or a 13 pool?
It looks like a 15 pool. He built that one right at 15, which I'm noting right away was later than what he did last game in Lost Temple
Right.
map. On the
He
smaller
follows it
map,
quickly with the gas, too.
Yeah. And that really shows the usefulness of that early scout drone. On a big map like Lost Temple, even though you're farther away, you don't get to scout people as early. But on this map, you do. So that's why he's comfortable sneaking his pool in that late.
Right, we've got the assimilator finishing there in the Protoss's base to get some gas around the 19/20 supply mark with Artosis' drone still scouting it down, and there goes the cybernetics core down in his base. So it's pretty much the same build that we saw last game.
Yeah, one minor difference in Louder's is that if you notice on Louder's Nexus, it looks like he's spending all his chrono boosts just getting additional probes. In the other games, he was chrono boosting the gateway, but I guess this is a natural response, having seen that ultra late pool from Artosis.
Right, and we see the Zealot there just kind of chasing the drone out, but we've seen some decent micro there from Artosis to be able to get as much information possible here in the early game to kind of see what Louder is going to be doing for the rest of this game. There goes the drone.
A little focus there. Yeah.
Right, we still have the Overlord coming, actually inside his base and another one near his natural expansion. Looks like he's going to be pulling that out as we do see the cybernetics core down, and also researching that warp gate ability, which allows the Protoss to, of course, warp in units on any pylon structures throughout the map.
And what's kind of funny about Warp Gate is a lot of players get it early on because the gateways actually build faster with the Warp Gate. It takes a little bit more focus, but you can pour out huge numbers of units.
Right.
And we see Louder, that is completely as planned. Getting that third gateway up, again, highlighting how important early aggression is on this map.
Right, and we see some aggression right now, actually, outside of Louder's base from Artosis with 8 I think Louder's going to be okay, though. It looks like he has some hold position there on those two Zealots there at his ramp. But Artosis is just kind of doing a little bit of containment, making sure his probe doesn't go out and find some more information. And nice surround there from Artosis.
Beautiful.
We see
Yeah,
one
that's something.
stalker out too.
Oh yeah, so great about Artosis, just keeping that probe in the dark. You know,
We
making sure
actually
it's loud. Oh, was
we
it?
actually missed the hatchery there going down. It's actually done at the natural
Oh.
expansion of Artosis.
Yeah, yeah. Any sort of early expand build like that in this matchup is great. And if we go into Artosis' main, we see him researching that layer as well, getting that second extractor, so that way he can start getting a whole lot of gas up for those Mutalisks. But I'm getting a little nervous because if we look back in Louder's base, he has all three of those warp gates finished.
With a
He's
fourth
actually
one
making
going down, yeah.
fourth one. Wow, Jesus. Yeah, he built that pylon at his ramp, so that way he gets a little bit of extra distance from his just spawned units, and he's going to be spending almost all his resources on Zealots and Sentries with a few Stalkers for extra damage, and this push might be big trouble for Artosis.
Right, we're seeing them fight outside of Blue's base now as he goes down to his second ramp right outside of his natural expansion, pushing towards the middle of the map with Artosis falling back with those 8 lings. Getting ready to probably enforce this. He's actually pulling his drones away from his natural. We see him pulling them back to the main base with a spine crawler going down. So we might actually see a yep, there it is, force build on the ramp. I think Louder's going to try to take down this hatchery right here. Looks like he's going to do it with ease.
No doubt going to fall, yeah. It's just gone right now. I mean, Artosis clearly totally surprised at the timing of this attack. Had almost nothing ready, and I mean, Louder might just go ahead and win this game right here and now.
Right, we've also got a Spire down in Artosis' base. It's about 450 out of 600, so that might be able to save him here now that Louder only has about 4 units, 2 sentries, 2 stalkers to be able to attack those air units. But we've got to fight.
Overlord going down already. I mean, that's flying crawler.
There it goes.
There's Queen. Yes. Oh my god, look at the Zerglings just evaporating. Looks like Artosis is going to lose this game real fast, but right before his Queen dies, vomits a little bit of extra larva on there. So good game.
GG from Artosis. So now we are all tied up 1-1. Going into the third match, which is going to be Desert Oasis, but before that, Sean, what could Artosis done, or what could Artosis have done to kind of make this a little bit more competitive? Do you think maybe some more Zerglings on his part, or do you think the tech to Mutas was a little bit too early and maybe a little bit confident from that first game?
Well, I mean, this sort of thing always happens, not just with a game as new as StarCraft 2, but especially in StarCraft 1 or any strategy game. A lot of times you're trying to figure out, what can I get away with? And Artosis was trying to get away with that early expansion and just keep Louder contained. And that's okay to do as long as you are completely adequately prepared for some sort of counter push like that. So making a lot of drones and teching is great, but the more experience Artosis gets, he's going to learn he needs to maybe make some extra spine crawlers, maybe get Zergling speed so his Zerglings are a little bit stronger. And at this point in StarCraft 2, without that experience, it's literally a complete surprise to Artosis, just saying, wow, I guess I can't hold that 3-gate push on a map as small as Steppes of War.
Right, right. All right, so we will be right back with the third map of this series, now tied up 1-1, Desert Oasis.